Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to try to explain a very interesting topic. Well, the title says it all, right? But I'm going to try to explain you how that is going to happen. And this is the map towards the answer. So let's navigate this map together. I'm going to try to explain you the map step by step, and probably, as far as I know myself and how I work psychically speaking, I will get more information as I try to explain, or maybe afterwards. Now, let's begin. How will Jesus Christ come back on earth? And when? When and how? Well, here is the map. Look at this string. Imagine this as being a plant. Actually, that was the purpose of this drawing. This is a plant, and this is the human being. These are the parents, the mother and the father, and this is the human being. The human being here has 7 chakras. The first one is the root chakra, which is buried underneath a soil, underneath the earth. Remember, this is us as being a plant. We are looking at this interpretation through the lenses of powerful transformation, through the lenses of solar eclipse energy. I am not sure why just yet. Hopefully it's going to come. The root chakra is right here underneath the soil, paired up with the sacral chakra. At the level of the sacral chakra is where we find the planet Earth. We also associate the sacral chakra with Lemuria, Mintaka, Pleiadians. And what I find very interesting before moving forward is, do you see how they are paired? 2, 2, 2. The only one which is by itself is the heart chakra. Moving forward, I don't know if I mentioned, the root chakra is associated with void, darkness, all potentialities. This is what the root chakra is associated with. Moving up on our bodies here, we have the solar plexus chakra, which is associated with the Orion belt, and I was guided to draw a belt around the chakra, which to me looks very much like Saturn, and they said yes, Saturn. So solar plexus chakra associated with Saturn, associated also with Orion. Orion worse can very well be. Next in line is the heart chakra. Oh no, the only one by itself is the throat chakra, not the heart chakra. I'm so sorry. So next in line is the heart chakra, which is associated with Jupiter. Also, I've been guided to draw these 9 moons around it. I also heard solar eclipse of the heart. So far so good, right? Moving forward, throat chakra, I got nothing over there. The crown chakra is associated with Andromedans and also with Plutonian energy. And the third eye chakra associated again with Pleiadians. For some reason, looking at this chart, this little chart here, I heard the last 3, they don't really even matter because they are a replica of the first 3, right? As within, so without, as above, so below. Being on this realm, we have to focus a lot on these first 3 chakras. Now, how is this related to the coming of Jesus Christ, Yeshua, on earth? When and how? Well, let me take you further in the journey. These two, they are the caretakers, the parents of our little plant here. As they are the plants of the little plant, they have the responsibility to take care of the plant, to give the plant whatever the needs are in order for the plant to grow beautifully, in order for the human being to develop beautifully. In order for that to happen, we have the sun and the moon, the sun and the moon. The parents, they need to be balanced in their energy. They need to be aware of their light as well as of their shadow. If the parents, and when usually I'm talking about one, there is usually an imbalance in the other also. If one of these parents is imbalanced in their energies, which is the case of almost probably all families on planet Earth, right? The nourishment, the nutrients of the offspring are not going to be assured. They are not going to be complemented as they would have been if the energy were in their place. Okay, and where does the nourishment start? At the level of the void, root chakra. The root chakra, the void, the darkness also involves closeness. If the parents are not balanced in their energies, they might very well, which I hear is a huge problem on planet Earth, they think they allow the children to be close to them, but one, if doesn't reflect over their shadow, there can be demons in there that doesn't make you a safe person. And so you might notice the children not even wanting to be in your presence, unfortunately. Why is that happening? Because at a subconscious level, they feel my mother is not safe, my father is not safe. Even if on the surface, it looks like you are doing everything that you can, you forgot a very important element, your shadow, right? How is this related to the coming of Jesus? Again, let's continue the story. You see, down here, we have some bricks. These are the bricks. And this is what keeps the offspring, the plant, our little plant here, away from the baggage of the ancestors. And when I'm talking about the baggage of the ancestors, I'm talking about the emotional baggage, the shadow, the heavy side of things, the one that nobody wants to look at, right? Because it's heavy, it's dark, we don't like it. No, we don't like it. And so that's why so many during lifetime after lifetime in that lineage, in that ancestry, didn't take the time to look at it. Because a whole lot of resistance which created these bricks first and foremost, right? You know, when someone tells you, you are this and you are that, and let's say they have the best intentions and the best and no ulterior reasons, and they tell you that, you feel like, well, I believe if they wouldn't have any ulterior reasons, you wouldn't feel that resistance. But it is hard for someone not to have ulterior reasons, even if those ulterior reasons are actually in the name of the highest good of all, right? For the highest good of all. And so you feel that resistance, first of all, because 9 times out of 10, it is true. It is hard to look within and start doing the work. Imagine a very powerful force owns you, possesses you, And so when the question comes from the person, that possession, you can call it, I don't want to scare anyone, but it is a demon after all, if it's so strong, starts getting angry. I actually see it in my mind's eye, how it's almost ready to bark like an angry dog, right? So you start defending the falsity in oneself, right? Now, moving further. If this is the ancestry here, the ancestral baggage, the little bricks here. If our parents here are balanced enough, willing, open enough, open-minded, open-hearted enough, very important, open-hearted. And when I say very important, open-hearted, they take us to the heart chakra here, which is Jupiter expansion and the moons. Very interesting. Well, what is Jupiter? Jupiter is the planet of expansion, right? Amplifies, also brings abundance. Sagittarian energy creates movement. So we can say when we have an open heart, we create movement in our lives. We are not stuck. We are okay with things not going our way all the time. But how easy it is to say that, right? It is, and how hard it is to create, if it's the case, and it's the case for many, to create the eclipse with every single moon at the level of the heart chakra. What am I trying to say? You bring the sun in you, which is the light of your consciousness, which is, I want to see, I want to understand, I want to learn. You bring that intention over the moon at the level of the heart chakra. A certain pain, a certain doubt, a certain issue that resurfaces, right? And whatever is hidden will, together with the light of your consciousness, will create powerful transformation. Because when you have that intention, which is pure and neutral, automatically will come into union with one of the moons of Jupiter at the level of your heart, and so a new gate is open in your life. Movement starts to happen. Makes sense, right? And so I believe we have to really talk to ourselves and to tell ourselves, listen, it is time to make powerful changes in our life, because we know now, as within, so without. And so why things are not moving in my life? Let me do a little inner research. What powerful transformation I have to initiate in myself in order for these things to move? Let me just look in my immediate surroundings. What is the issue? Like the superficial layer, let me connect to that. And that is going to take me further in the journey. But I have to be honest with myself regarding that thing. The fears surrounding that thing, that's why the moons are there. The moon can signify a whole lot of fear. Why am I so afraid of taking that risk? Of taking that step? Maybe that's the door towards my expansion. Okay. If our parents are balanced and they do the work, this work that I'm mentioning here, they are connected I'm going to add something else here. And they are connected to the ancestral baggage, which will give me some time to breathe and actually focus on building a life on earth with a lot of opportunities, a lot of confidence, a lot of tools. If the parents, they don't do the work, automatically it's going to fall on my shoulders sooner rather than later. If the parents have their parents alive and they do the work, the parents might start to immerse themselves, energetically speaking, with all bodies actually, into the pool of what's left to be healed from this ancestral baggage. They act almost like a protection towards the offspring, towards our plant, towards the plant. If the parents are emotionally mature, if they are closed off, if they are very toxic, the baggage will be ours. The baggage will be ours. When is Jesus coming on earth and how? Well, remember, the root chakra, the first chakra, is the one associated with void, darkness, and earth. Remember, Mother Earth came as an energy, unified. Did I mention this? I don't remember. Came initially, before planet Earth was formed, she came as the energy of consciousness from another realm, united with the unconscious. We can call it the void, we can call it Earth, and became planet Earth. The unconscious became subconscious through time and space, which became rigid. And here is where Jesus comes on earth. When we break the rigidity in ourselves, He is there to hold your hand while you do it. When you are ready to put your feet on the ground, is when Jesus arrives. I hope it makes sense. That was the message that I received. That's how Jesus comes on earth. When we allow the subconscious to become unconscious again, if you want. Better said, when we break through the rigidity of our own ego and of our own structures, and now we can take parts of the void and we can actually do what we initially we were supposed to do with it, and that's to create beautiful things that don't hurt another but are meant to work with another in the life of another. That was the meaning of all that at the beginning of